Saturday, August 24th, the final round of the 2019 AFL Premiership season. The AFL's two latest expansion clubs have just finished a match at Metricon Stadium. The final score reading Gold Coast 7-13-55, defeated by Greater Western Sydney 27-127. Following this 72-point smashing of the Suns, the Giants would go on to play in the grand final, while Gold Coast finished dead last. In recent years, the trajectories of the two teams could not have been more different. So why has one expansion club succeeded, while the other, so far, has failed miserably? There's good reason that a lot has been made out of the long list of players to depart the struggling Suns. Ex-Suns Dion Prestia and Josh Caddy were integral to the Tigers' fairy tale 2017 premiership, while former Suns captain Tom Lynch is now also a premiership Tiger. Charlie Dixon, Jaeger O'Meara, Adam Sard, Stephen May, and now Jack Martin are all in their new club's best 22. Player-manager Robbie D'Orazio justified Jack Scrimshaw's recent departure by saying he probably just didn't fit into the environment up there, and that's not a dig at the football club, just the state itself. The Gold Coast is well known as the graveyard for professional sport in Australia. The Gold Coast Blaze lasted just 5 seasons in the NBL, and A-League club Gold Coast United survived only 3. In fact, no team from the Gold Coast has ever made it to a grand final in a professional Australian league, a fact that makes the Giants' recent grand final appearance all the more striking. D'Orazio's comments hint at this long history of failure, but something about the South Queensland city has led it to become known as Australian sport's Bermuda Triangle. The Suns pinned much of their hopes on Gary Ablett, who despite incredible individual performances, never became the icon of Gold Coast sport the Suns had hoped. When he left to return to Geelong, he took with him not only the club's only Brownlow medal, but also 4 of 9 club champion trophies. 2 of the remaining 5 then departed with Lynch. The Giants too have lost talent. Tom Boyd will forever be remembered by Bulldogs supporters for his premiership heroics. Adam Treloar is one of Collingwood's best players, and Devon Smith, Taylor Adams and Dylan Shiel are all among the top line players to depart Western Sydney. Yet the core of the team has remained intact as the Giants' key players continue to turn their back on rival clubs. After he and Canelio both signed 7-year deals, Lachie Whitfield fronted the media. I think that's what made my decision so easy, speaking to Cogs and Toby and knowing that they were going to be here long term as well. We've got a really good core group to build the team around. Knowing we've got 5, 6, 7 years together is exciting. Callan Ward and Phil Davis captained the team together since the inaugural 2012 season, before handing over the reins to a re-signed Stephen Canelio for 2020. Lacking the star power of Gary Ablett, the Giants took a different approach and appointed 2 solid young players and outstanding leaders as their captains, laying solid foundations to build a club around. In particular, the Giants taking a leap of faith and making the 21-year-old Davis co-captain of their inaugural side is emblematic of a club that had long-term aspirations in mind from the beginning. As Davis and Ward have grown as players, the rest of the club has grown around them. In contrast, the Suns' first 3 captains, Ablett, Lynch and May, are now all playing at other clubs. The Giants' core of star players has also received a consistent message over their time together, with current coach Leon Cameron serving as assistant to Kevin Sheedy before taking charge himself for the past 5 seasons, providing a platform around which the club can sell their long-term plans for success to the players. The lack of a dominant star has also allowed this talented core of players to grow together. In contrast to the Suns, a different player has won the Giants' best and fairest in each of their 8 seasons. We all understand where we have come from, where we currently are, and what we have to do to get better, Phil Davis told the AFL Record. Off-field, the Giants are far outperforming their northern rivals as well. While the club's on-field results have been slowly trending upwards, so too have their membership figures, with a 2019 tally of just over 30,000 members. The Suns, on the other hand, have stagnated and find themselves with about half the members, a paltry 13,649 in the last season. Their largest membership tally, just over 14,000, came in 2011, the club's first season in the AFL. Fans, of course, will reward success, so these numbers come as no great surprise, but the gap in support for the two clubs is growing rapidly. At Gold Coast, Mark Evans has been brought in as CEO to try and steady the ship. The former Director of Operations at the AFL faces an uphill battle, and while the AFL has denied that they planted Evans in the role, the higher-ups at AFL House will be happier knowing he's there. In the wake of Tom Lynch's departure, Evans hit back angrily at suggestions that players don't want to be drafted to the Suns. If there are people out there, managers, who are prepared to get up on radio and say, "Don't go to the Gold Coast," we'll have them in court as quick as we can. However, since the introduction of players like Ablett and Jared Harbrow in their first season, the Suns have struggled to continue to attract talent from around the league. While the Giants have topped up their squad with players like Brett Delidio, Ryan Griffin and Shane Mumford, the Suns were forced to pay the high price of pick 2 for Lockie Weller, a deal that many believe the Dockers got the better of. The Suns were desperate to bring in a player who wanted to come to the club. Fremantle recognised this and took full advantage. Things, however, do seem to be starting to turn for the Suns, as 2018 draftees Jack Lukosius, Isaac Rankine and Ben King have signed contract extensions. Dual Premiership Tiger Brandon Ellis has become the first non-delisted free agent to join the club since Nick Malcheski in 2014, and the drafting of talented duo and best mates Matt Rowell and Noah Anderson mean the Suns are once again loaded with top-line young talent. So while a big sound continues to come from Western Sydney, the Suns will be hoping this time they can keep these players together and turn the club's fortunes around.